Good evening, folks. By request from my grade twins, I'm going to do a quick video on factoring a polynomial simply by its GCF. Not going to go into any great detail beyond just pulling apart it into its terms and then factoring out the GCF. So here's our polynomial, 8x cubed y squared plus 10x squared y minus 24x y cubed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by breaking each one of these into their polynomial prime factors. So first thing I'm going to do, 8x cubed y squared, that's going to factor into 2 times 2 times 2 times x times x times x times y times y. I'm going to take my 10x squared y, I'm going to factor that into 2 times 5 times x times y, and my negative 24xy cubed factors into, negative 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times x times y times y times y. Awesome. Now that I get the prime factors, my next step is to look for the greatest common factor. So I'm looking for what is in common between the first, the second, and the third term. Now, some of you don't need to do this expansion. Some of you will be able to see this pretty quickly, and that's great, but it's always good to look the first time through. So I look through, and I see each term has a 2 as a factor, each term has an x as a factor, and each one has a y as a factor. So when I do pull out my GCF in this case is going to be 2xy. All right, so effectively what I'm now going to do is I'm going to factor out or divide out of each of the 3 terms 2xy. So what I end up doing is taking my 3 terms and I'm going to divide each one of them individually by 2xy. So 8 divided by 2, x cubed divided by x, and y squared divided by y. When I do that, I end up with my first term, which is my GCF. I'll write that down. I'll slap down the bracket, and then it's 8 divided by 4 is 8 by 2, is 4. X cubed divided by x is x squared, and y squared divided by y is y. All right, I do the next one. 10 divided by 2 is 5. X squared divided by x is x, and y divided by y is 1. And if I'm multiplying this back together by 1, it doesn't really change anything. So I have 5x as my second term. My third term, I take 24 divided by 2. I leave the subtraction or the negative alone. 24 divided by 2 is 12. X's, these 2 x's here, they make a 1 or divide to make a 1, and 12 times 1 is 12. And y cubed divided by y, take my exponents, subtract them, 3 minus the indivisible 1, and I end up with y squared. So my factors are factoring out my GCF. My factored form is 2xy times 4x squared y plus 5x minus 12y squared. That's how you do it. Good luck on the homework questions I left you. We'll see you 10s on Monday, and thanks again. Live long and math on.